Evening. So recently I read this book called Schrader's Chord by Leeds. So this is not the fun kind of ghost story, or I guess undead person story might be more accurate. I think it's supposed to be a scary story, although I will say that I did not personally find it particularly scary, which I guess is for me is kind of a plus. So the main character, Charlie, has been estranged from his father for some time. Like, their relationship ever since he was small has been pretty rocky, but since his mother passed away, he basically cut off all connections with his father. But now his father has passed away, and Charlie returns home to help his sisters set his father's affairs in order and to attend his funeral. He discovers that when he gets there, however, that his dad has left him two things. One is his record store, and two is a really mysterious set of old records. And his father left a note with them that tells him that they're something called Schrader's Chord and that they're real. So Schrader's Chord is something that his father used to tell his kids stories about. And the idea was that there was a musician who really, really wanted to see his dead wife again, and experimented with all these different sounds and stuff until he managed to discover a chord that allowed him to open the door between the world of the living and the dead. So obviously Charlie doesn't believe in this kind of thing, but the records do look very old, and due to certain circumstances, he, along with one of his sisters and two of the people who worked with his father in the record store, play these records, and it turns out that they're real, and it instigates a whole, they end up unleashing, a curse upon themselves, where now they have to find a way to close this door before all of them get killed. Playing the records makes it so that the people who hear it can see the dead, and they're basically now being pursued. So something I liked about this story, two main things. One was I actually found the dead people kind of funny, because they, they maintain the appearance of when they passed away. So for instance, if someone got run over by a car, then it's going to look pretty gruesome because they'll be walking around looking like someone who's been run over by a car, but their personalities are pretty much, as far as I can tell, they're mostly intact. Some people might not even know that they're dead. But because of that, for instance, you've got this one person who technically died in a pretty gruesome way, and when he woke up, because he was one of the people who knew what was going on with the records, he hid in the basement of the house where he died because he didn't want people to see him and be frightened. So things like that I think actually made a lot of the undead actually kind of funny to me. I also appreciated that because of the resurrection of the deceased, the main character Charlie was actually able to work out a lot of the problems with his father, and I think that was one of the actual main focuses of this story, figuring out where their relationship went so wrong and coming to terms, reconciling with each other, and actually despite the horrors of the curse, it enables them to actually do this, and I think that was kind of a nice touch. Things I did not like. Mainly, I feel the story had a lot of loose ends and things that didn't exactly make logical sense to me. For instance, the fact that they played the records at all strikes me as kind of stupid, I guess. If someone left you a bottle of poison and told you, oh, this is poison, if you drink it, it's gonna kill you, I don't really understand why you would take the risk. Even if you aren't superstitious, even if you don't believe it would actually cause you harm, I don't really understand the desire to tempt fate that way, I guess. It's not that people don't do stupid things, but it's just one of those actions, I guess, that I find it hard to empathize with and just strikes me as kind of dumb. And then there's things that I think it feels like it should have told you, but it didn't. So, for instance, you know that it takes 4 people to play the records, but at least as far as I can tell, it seems like in terms of Charlie's father, they only accounted for 3 out of 4 people. I mean, it's possible that it mentioned it or implied it and I just missed it, but as far as I can tell, and then I don't understand, for instance, why the other people with Charlie's father agreed to play the records. I mean, you know why he did, like it talks about it, but it doesn't explain why everyone else would take that risk. So, yeah, like some people, I guess, might not care so much about whether things make logical sense in stories that contain the supernatural, but, it does tend to be a better story when you account for all of these factors.